Former President Donald Trump has the day off from his criminal trial to attend his son's high school graduation. But he's also using that time to campaign in Minnesota. He will speak at the Minnesota Republican Party's Lincoln Reagan fundraising dinner tonight. Trump lost the state to President Biden in 2020 by around 7 points. A Republican presidential candidate has not won Minnesota in over 50 years. CBS News politics reporter Hunter Woodall is in St. Paul, Minnesota. So, Hunter, Donald Trump has touted having a chance to win Minnesota this cycle. How does he plan on pulling that off?
Well, as you mentioned, Minnesota is an evasive state for Donald Trump in terms of politics. He narrowly lost it in the 2016 presidential election by about 1.5 percentage points to Democrat Hillary Clinton. Since then, in 2020, he really placed an emphasis on saying, hey, I want to win Minnesota, only to lose to President Joe Biden by 7 in 2020. Now, as we look at the map here, Republicans haven't won statewide in Minnesota in any elected office for over a decade. That's a big hindrance, and the state party has had some issues that they've had to try to overcome recently. But when you look at the map and you look at how polling's going, Donald Trump does see an opportunity to win Minnesota. Democrats don't appear worried, however. When you talk to the President Biden's campaign, you talk to other Democrats, they project, a lot of confidence about the state, given how, like you said, no Republican has won it since Richard Nixon in 1972.
Well, Trump's state campaign chair is House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. What is the relationship like between the two?
The relationship between former President Donald Trump and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer has gone from being complex to fascinating to now it seems very, very warm. Back last fall, when Republicans were trying to find a new Speaker of the House after Kevin McCarthy was ousted, Tom Emmer, Minnesota Republican, longtime Minnesota Republican, put his foot forward and said, hey, I want to be Speaker. He never even made it to a floor vote in that quest. He faced a lot of obstacles from Republicans on Capitol Hill, but also former President Donald Trump put out a message on Truth Social really going after him. The relationship has warmed up tremendously since. The two are working together in hopes, as Emmer hopes to help Trump get reelected, especially here, get elected, and to get him this win in Minnesota that's been elusive over these decades for Republicans.
Well, how has Donald Trump's criminal trial impacted Minnesota Republicans' support for the former president?
I've been following how this delegation in Minnesota, in terms of congressional Republicans, has responded to Trump a ton over the last few years. They almost immediately rallied behind former President Trump when that first New York indictment came out. That support, if possible, has only solidified since. They're in lockstep behind him. They've endorsed him in terms of this congressional delegation. There are 4 House members from Minnesota in Washington. They're strong Trump supporters, and they continue to try and help him get elected to the White House in 2024. Now, in a state like Minnesota, that's a tremendous help. But Republicans in Minnesota do tend to be a little bit more that pragmatic conservative, though. Given how we're seeing in some of these suburbs, I know there's a goal of kind of appealing to the white suburban voters in Minnesota that tended to go to be more up for grabs in recent election cycles.
All right, Hunter Woodall for us. Hunter, thank you so much.